Hey guys, this is Connor with Conquest HP, and this is the second video in our wedding diet and exercise series. So if you have a wedding coming up on the books this year that you're preparing for, maybe you're participating in it, or you're the bride or the groom or in the wedding party, and you want to look good in your tux or your dress or whatever your outfit might be, these are going to be some pretty indisputable truths that you're going to want to start working on sooner rather than later. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. You need to give yourself as much time as possible to hit whatever physique goals you've set out. And I know that sounds like basic logic and not something that you need a coach for, and that's exactly the trouble with it. It is basic, and it is kind of boring to try to work at something for 10 months rather than 2 months, and that's why it gets overlooked a lot of the time. And it gets put on the back burner, and people think, well, I'll kind of lose a little bit of weight as I go, I'll work out a little bit as I go, and we'll get up to that day and I'll be looking pretty good and I won't have any work left to do. But that's rarely how it actually works. Life gets in the way, other prep for the wedding gets in the way, and you don't end up losing that weight along the way because you're not focusing on it. But it's pretty much beyond dispute that if you have, say, 10 pounds to lose, and you give yourself 10 months to do it, it's going to be much easier on you in terms of stress and for your body, and you're going to be able to do it in a much healthier way and learn better lessons along the way, learn better habits and lifestyle like behaviors along the way, if you do that 10-pound loss over 10 months instead of doing it over 1 month, or instead of doing it over 3 weeks because you just really need to crash because your pants don't fit. Like, that's just a terrible way to go about it. And I'm sure that you can imagine that often doesn't go well after the diet is over. You fit yourself into the pants, and then you party hard one night, and then you just have had enough of dieting for a little while, so you go on a month-long binge, and you're celebrating, and there's a honeymoon, and then it's all downhill from there. And you don't know what happens, but that 10 pounds is back and then some. That's not the place you want to find yourself in. So give yourself plenty of time to lose whatever weight you need to lose, or pack on whatever muscle you want to pack on, because that's a good thing to fill out a suit too, or even to look good in a dress. Shoulders look good in a dress. You have a shoulderless dress, right? Some good shoulders in there. Give yourself lots of time to do it, and start right now. Do not put this off. Start right now quantifying something about your intake and about your exercise. I love journaling exercise, and if you want to use a food log, you can do that. Things like MyFitnessPal, or even just pen and paper, writing down your macros, your protein, fats, carbs, how many calories that translates into. You need something to quantify, so that you know what you're going to cut as time goes on, because in order to lose that weight, assuming you need to lose weight, you're going to have to cut something. So whether that's a consistent portion that you can just eat a little less of, or you figure out how many carbs you're eating in a day, or how many fats you're eating in a day, and cut a little bit of those as time goes on, you need something to quantify, because this is all very quantifiable. It doesn't always happen in a linear fashion like we'd like it to, but you can quantify the entire process. 10 pounds is X amount of calories. Whether it all comes off as you expect it to or not is another question, but it's X amount of calories. We have to cut that many calories over X amount of time. So again, very predictable. But if you're not quantifying anything, if you're just thinking, I'll just work out a little harder, I'll just eat some more vegetables, I'll just cut some carbs, it's not going to happen. You're going to forget about it. It's not going to be a lifestyle change for you. You need to have some way to quantify these things. Start out as simple as possible. Log your exercise. I did 30 minutes on the elliptical, and then I did 30 minutes of squats and bench, or whatever you say, and then either use MyFitnessPal if that's what you're into, or just write down, I ate this at this meal at this time, and then you can see as time goes on what changes you've been making, if you're actually making those changes, or if you just imagine that you're making those changes. And then as time goes on, you know where you can cut, you know where you can add in more exercise if you need to. You can pull back those things, you can add in more food, or reduce exercise if you're ahead of schedule, or if you've hit your goal. But you need something to quantify, and you need to give yourself as much time as possible to hit this goal, because the numbers are the numbers. You can make it really hard on yourself and leave yourself very little time to achieve the same numbers, which which is still possible, but far from ideal. Or you can be good about it the entire time and put a whole lot less stress on your body and focus a whole lot more on enjoying the big day and enjoying the process leading up to that big day. So Quantify for now, as simple as possible. So whatever's reliable, if that's the food log, if it's MyFitnessPal, if it's an exercise log, as simple as possible for now. You can get more detail as you go if you need to, but I don't encourage you to complicate things beyond what you need to right now. And then just start cutting or start exercising more or start making your interventions right now. Small interventions. Increase that intervention, increase that dosage as you need to, if you need to. But if you have plenty of time to work on it, you're not going to have to sweat too many bullets over this process. So look out for the rest of the videos in this series. I'm going to talk a lot more about the exercise and diet leading up to the big day. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. Check out the other exercise videos here if you need some ideas to get working on that bit of it.